everyone, it's Celiana with Eventcraft Studio, seasonal wreaths and holiday decor. Tonight we are going to work on a nautical grapevine wreath. The focal point is going to be this sign right here. I got this at Hobby Lobby a few years ago, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get it. Again, like I said, it's going to be on a grapevine wreath. Here is our base. And finally, it's going to be a little bit simple. We have our, I already cut these. I try to prep a little bit. These are the flowers that we're going to use. They are Velvet Cup, I believe. They're from Greenery Market. I got these a while ago. I would say I got these like back in, I don't know, Christmas time. So I don't even know if you're able to get them. And then finally, this guy right here. I can never say it. I don't know if it's Astilbe or Astilbe. I don't know. I always forget to ask people when I'm with them, but these guys right here, and then a blue baby's worth. I just realized everything came from Greenery's Market. All my florals. Finally, the ribbon for our bow. We're gonna use, maybe we're gonna use all 4. I'm not sure, but these are gonna be the 4 ribbons that I have. This one, I believe, came from Sims Pottery. This one, don't remember, but the point is that we got these ribbons because they do complement the sign. I like this one because this one came from AC Moore. Every time I come on live, I always have ribbons from AC Moore. It is what it is. But this guy right here has the anchors, and that's why I picked it. But I'm not sure exactly if we're gonna go with that. But before I get started, let me make sure that I can see comments if anybody comes on, because as usual, I'm here on super late. Super duper late. Oh boy. So let me get all this stuff out of the way, because the first thing that I want to do is add our sign to the grapevine, and then we'll work on the bow. So let's get all this fun stuff. And if you notice, I didn't mean to do this. It ended up being kind of like red, white, and blue, but the sign does have those similar colors. So it's nautical, it's patriotic, all in one, which is pretty awesome. Goes perfectly with the times. All right. And I promise I'm going to try to be fast tonight, because I know I'm not, usually. Okay. So, we have our base here. And I already started prepping the sign. What I did was I added staples. Did I ever add glue? Oh, I never added the glue to it. And it's not going to happen right now. I'll add the glue afterwards. So I added the staples and then to the sign. So that way I could add it. I could attach it here. Now, before I make the bow, in this particular wreath, I want to make sure that I add the sign first, so that way I could be able to place exactly the location of the sign. I'm sorry, of the bow. If I make the bow first, then that's going to affect where the sign goes. I think the opposite is a little bit better. I always like to add glue to this right here. Like I said, I'll add it afterwards. So let's add this. Always try to figure out the orientation that you want the sign to go in. I believe that for this wreath, this is the best orientation. And what I'm doing, I am attaching the sign to my grapevine. And I'm trying not to go around the major ones, like the major binding ones, the big guys. I'm doing my best not to add it around those. And then once that's complete, see what's happening? This is why I clean my grapevines before I come on. Because then you have pieces of grapevine all over the place. But it is what it is, the nature of what we do. This is an 18-inch grapevine. 18-inch grapevine. Because the sign is, it's a 10-inch sign. But it's kind of like one of those, like, see, it's 10-inch sign, but it also like an inch and a half wide. Like it's a decorative sign, like you could just place on the wall, like place on a table. But I'm adding it to the wreath, because that's what we do. We find any kind of sign and we add it to our wreath. Now, I would have liked for it to like sit in a little bit more, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have it sink in. But at least I did this part. I had this wreath. I have tons of nautical signs. I think I'm down to 2. If you notice, I haven't stopped working on Nautical. But I believe I'm down to 2 or maybe 3. And I think I might save them for next year. And those are like my first Nautical signs. Like, I just have not been inspired with them yet. I bought them, I would say, like 4 years ago. And they're going to go away again. I'm not going to work with them today. Well, this year. Okay, so this sign, I used brown pipe cleaners. So that way it blends in with the grapevine. But I feel like you're still going to be able to see the pipe cleaners. So what we may have to do afterwards might be either loosen this. I know the stuff that you do before you work. Or we might add a little flower up there kind of to hide it. You get creative. I have one more right here. One more point. So it's an 18-inch grapevine, like I said, and a 10 by 10 sign. 10 by 10 by 1.5. And you just gotta get creative with the grapevines. You know, no grapevine is the same. So you just gotta try to figure it out. That's, like I said, I had a grapevine already prepped for this sign since last week. And I didn't realize that I should not have used it when I made this guy back here. Because it was like perfect for the sign. And you know, there's no perfect grapevine. But you try to work with what you have to work with whatever it is that you're trying to make, right? But in this case, that sign was perfect. The sign was perfect with the grapevine. It like just went into it perfectly. But it is what it is. We work with what we got and we just try to make it look good. Okay, so in this case, it's not moving, which is awesome for me. I'm happy with where it's with the placement. You could move it a little bit up more if you wanted to, but actually because of where it is, and we have the words here, I might put something right here because you could see it. So who knows? I might put a little flower here, a little bush here, or maybe a little bow. I don't know. Let's see what we got. But look what happens when you don't clean your grapevines in advance, everyone. This is why I made a video about this. I came on live about that, about cleaning your grapevines. And I did it in both Spanish and English just in case. But it's, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Because then I just picture the ribbons getting dirty and all that fun stuff. Which is not so nice. Okay. So we have our sign. So I'm going to put this guy, oh no. You can stay there. You can stay there. I'm not going to take this off. I talked to the grapevines. To the books. Okay. So we have this guy right there. Perfect. So I'm going to place this here. I think we might want it at a bit of an angle. Just like that. Haven't added my hook, but we're going to put a bow right here. Now we got to be careful with this guy. Like maybe, I don't know if we're going to want to move it up a little bit. Because we don't want to cover, like I personally don't want to like completely cover the sign. If that makes sense. Because if I have a big bow here, and then the sign gets covered, then what's the point, right? So let's work on our bow. Now I had a 2.5-inch denim colored. And as I was coming on, I saw that I had this, and I think this is better. But I had a 2.5-inch. Now, if I just worked on it with the 2.5 and then like 1.5-inch ribbon, okay. But I don't like, me personally, like for this kind of wreath, I want it to be a little bit more airy. So I want to have like this one. I felt like it would have been too much. So that's why I like these guys with this, because it goes with the ribbon. I'm sorry, with the sign. And then maybe we might add this. Not sure yet. See how we feel as we go along. And I just realized I didn't take out my pipe cleaners. Wow, I'm on a roll today. Okay, let's just grab a couple of pipe cleaners for our... It's because I got organized. I cleaned up my craft room. I cleaned it up. But it's going to get messy again after this. Okay, so we have our ribbon. Let me just cut it. I tried to prep as much as I could before I came on. But that sign just threw, the grapevine, missing the grapevine, just threw everything off. Okay, so this is the reason why I may or may not use this guy. Because it's kind of a beige if you look at it. And the sign is more white. I mean, you could still use it. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe I want that pattern in there. And then this is stripe and stripe. See what I'm saying? I mean, they work because there are different stripes. Okay. So let's see. Let me just have them open. I'm telling you, if I would have done all this before I came on, I still wouldn't have hit the live button. But most of the time, like I said before, was spent me trying to flip the image. And I couldn't do it. I don't know what update Facebook made. Okay, so let's make our bow. Before I get started with the bow, I know I got my pipe cleaner ready to go, but you need to have the 4 wire. Me, I do not care about the gauge. This is thin wire that I got from Michael's around the holidays. I don't care because I don't attach it to the Grapevine with this. I attach it with the pipe cleaner. So, but this I use just to make sure that the bow is secure. Okay? All right. So, let's get started with this color. So, I'm going to start with this one first, if you can see. And I'm going to work with a, let's say 12-inch tail. Would 12 be good? 12 inches perfect. 12 inches perfect. We don't want it to be too much. We could always cut it if anything. So 12, 13 inches. Work with 12. And it's going to be 12-inch loops. So I'm going to measure out 12 inches. If you can see that. 12 inches. And I'm going to grab it like that. Like pinch it. And then we're going to twist it. Right? Twist it so that way the good side is on the outside because we're going to turn it again. So now we're going to go to 12 inches again. And now that I have that, these bunny ears, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fingers between both of them, and I like to pull them as I work just to make sure that the loops are the same size. So you're going to see me continuously doing that. So then I'm going to come again, measure 12 inches again. And then again, do that again. Now I'm going to cut this. And all I made were 3 loops. The reason I only made 3 is because I have a lot of ribbon. If I if I was planning on using only 2 or 3 ribbons, I would have kept going. I would have made maybe 5 loops. But I'm only going to use 3 loops of this one because I'm going to add another ribbon. Now that I added this one, I'm going to want to break it up. So why don't we add this one? Should we add this one? No, let's go with the thicker one. Let's go with the red. So now, because I started this bow below my thumb, I'm going to start the next one above. So now that we measured the first one, we don't have to measure out the second one. We could kind of just like put it next to it and we have an idea. Same thing with the loops. I personally like to measure all my loops. Not everybody does. But once you have the first ones, you could just, once you measure out the first one, you could pretty much have an idea and save time. So the next one, I'm also going to make it 12 inches. And sometimes you'll find that you're measuring and it's still like not the same. Like you still have to like wiggle your hands around. I'm sorry, your fingers around. Same thing, we're going to twist it, right? Twist it. 12 inches. See that? And then one more time. One more time. This is really thick. Thick ribbon. Especially because it's painted. The stripes are like painted on. Or heat press, whatever it is. But you get what I'm saying. And again, as you're doing this, make sure that you're measuring. And I made 3 again. So I have 3 and 3. See that? Doesn't look like much when you're starting, but then once you finish adding all your loops and you secure your bow, you could add more stuff to it. Now I want to have another ribbon, which is the solid, to break it up. So I'm going to add this guy right here. Now I started below, then I added the blue stripe was below, the red stripe was above my thumb, and now I'm going to go back below. So this ribbon, because it is a solid, you may say, hey, there's no good side or bad side, there's no need to twist it, but I still like to twist it for the simple fact that you want to keep like giving it that little pop-up. And also I have a thing where you'll catch me looking at the edges of the ribbon, because I feel like the good side and bad side is defined by the way the ribbon edges are. So I'll look at that. So you'll see me on the lives and I'm staring at the edges is because I'm working with a solid and I want to make sure that, did I twist it? And you know, okay, so 12 inches, 12 inches. This is the big guy, but I do that. I always have a lot. Maybe should we only add 2 of this one so it doesn't overtake? Let's only add 2 and 2 for the last 2. See that? Okay. And then our final ribbon, which is the one with the anchors. It's going to start at the top like we did with the first one. Oops. And this one, like I said, I was debating should I use it or not, because see, it's like creamier and these are solid. See that? This is like very I know they're primary colors, but they're very, I can't think of the word right now. I can't think of the word. Like very well defined lines. So that's why I'm debating on using this guy. I honestly don't believe like it goes. So you know what? I don't think I'm gonna use it. As much as I like the anchors, I don't think it goes. It could go because it has like an effect of a shiplap in the background, but I don't know. I just feel like it's not calling me. It's not calling me, if that makes sense. I'm here talking, my bowl's falling apart. Let's add 1 loop and see how it goes. Let's add 1 loop. What's the worst that could happen? We'll just undo it. Okay. So let's add that 1 loop. And we'll see if we like it. Oops. Do we like it? It changes it. It changes it. I'm not going to use it. It changes the look. And I've had this ribbon for years. Like, I'm pretty sure I had this ribbon like way before AC More closed. Okay, so we have, in the end, we have 8 loops. See that? And that's fine. Worst case, if I wanted to add 1 more, I could do that. I could add 1 more loop right there and close it out and make, you know what, because I'm crazy, I'm going to add 1 more loop. Since I already have it here, I'm going to add 1 more loop of the, do I have enough? I don't. That's fine. That's fine. I want to add 1 more loop of the red, just so it could be up top. And I lost it. It doesn't want to be added. I lost it. I love when I drop things around lives. Okay. So I'm going to add 1 more. If that makes sense why I'm doing it. There's no right or wrong, everyone. No right or wrong. Just make sure that your bow loops are even before you pull on that bow to close it off. Okay. There you go. Alrighty. So now that I have this, it looks like a big mess here in my hands. See, I have ribbon everywhere. That's nautical ribbon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this. I'm going to basically close off my ribbon. And I'm going to add the floral wire. But I'm not going to pull on it. I'm not going to pull on it yet. This is my way of making bows. Everyone that I've met has a different way of doing it. This is the way. There's a combination of the wrong way that I used to do it when I first started and the correct way that I learned how to make them. So if you notice, I'm just twisting it around a few times. This is, like I said, a combination of how I used to make them before I knew the proper way. And when I say proper way, it's because they used to fall apart, and all I did was, if a loop was out, if I wanted to add another loop, I would just add another loop and add more wire to it. So there was like a wire mess. That's when I first started. So that's what I mean. It's a combination of the way I used to make them. Okay, now you see me like moving this around, is that I'm pulling it off to the side because the the loops aren't even. So before I tighten this, I want to make sure that my loops are even here. See that? So now that I know that on both sides, they're pretty much the same. This guy's a little bit out too much. I'm going to pull it a little. And now I'm going to tighten it. Now I tighten. Because if you tighten it before measuring, and then your bow's lopsided, you're going to have to take it apart. Like, you have to take it apart. Or, not take it apart. Cut the wire and add the wire again. Okay. So now I'm going to cut the wire. See that? I'm finished with that. And now, if you want to tighten it, I love how I just lose everything. Okay, let me just use this guy. Oh, here it is. Needle nose pliers, right? I'm just gonna grab it like this, and you could just see, grab it, and you could twist the bow. Just turn it. But be careful not to turn it too many times, because if you tighten it a little bit too much, it'll break. It could break. I've done that. I've done that way too many times. And I obviously don't have a good grip on it. That's why it keeps falling. You should just be able to like just turn it, flip it easily. But I'm not grabbing it correctly. There we go. See that? Just turn it. And now I'm going to cut off like about 1/2 inch. Like all I want there to be left is about 1/2 inch or so. And once I have that, all I'm going to do is push down on it. Again, this is the way I do it. My way. Because I'm paranoid. And I like to feel like that bow is not going to come apart no matter what. And now is when I'm going to take those pipe cleaners, which I may disappear again. Here they are. I'm going to take the pipe cleaner, this guy right here, and I'm going to attach it. And this is what I'm going to use to attach it to the wreath. Now, I used the brown one, which is okay. Yeah, the brown is okay. Sometimes you want it to match. You want a white, depending on the color. Should we do the white? Let's do the white. You hear me? Okay. White pipe cleaner. Why? Because if you could see the bow, I don't want you to see the rest of it. See, it's the creative process, guys. At least you follow along with my crazy thinking. Yeah, I feel better with a white or a navy. I cannot find navy pipe cleaners to save my life. I find royal blue. Okay, so now that I have it like that, I do one little twist. And like this is how I add it to the bow. But before we add it to the wreath, let's puff it up a little bit. Let's fluff it out so that way you could at least see what you're working with. So I'm gonna fluff out my ribbon. Let's have our ribbon loops. And the red ribbon is like really hard. I don't know if you can see it. It's like, so the royal is the red and the white stripes are painted on, so it's like really tough. Yeah, I'm happy I didn't use the other ribbon, because I feel like this is very like not geometric, but you know what I mean, like modern straight lines, like very defined, and the other one was a little bit more flowy, and I don't feel like it went, in my opinion. Now, if you like that, you could have used it. Okay, see, there you go. That's our bow. That's our bow. Okay, so now I'm going to add this to the wreath. Okay, so I'm going to add it right here. Like I said, I wanted it a little bit off to the side. And there are our loops. Now we have all these extra tails here. These could be used afterwards as like faux loops, if that makes sense. Like fake loops that they're, if you feel like your bow is missing something and you don't want to take apart the bow, you could just, I'm just curling it in right now, but afterwards you could like curl them in to make them look like they're loops as well. But for now, I'm just going to curl these up so we could work. Because I don't know exactly how many I want to have. I might cut all these off. I might just have them have like 2 or 3. But for now, that's all I have. Okay? You get what I'm saying. They're falling apart. Okay. So now, like this guy I'm definitely not going to cut because this ribbon is like hiding in the back. So I know I'm going to move it around and position it so it pops up a little bit more. But you see how the bow complements the sign? If that, get it? Get it, get it? Okay. So now let's add our stuff. Let's add our stuff, our florals. I'm going to try to make this work. If you know me, I have tons of greenery. But I said, you know what? Let's try to make this as simple as possible. Because I could go crazy. I could keep adding greenery and adding greenery. I mean, we all do that, right? When we're working, we just keep adding and adding and adding and adding. So I'm trying to like pull back a little and see how I am able to make a pretty wreath, which we all can, with less materials. So I actually have the stuff that I wanted to add here, but I'm hiding it. So this is the greenery that I wanted to add. Usually when I work with this greenery, I add it in the end. I'm not going to green the wreath first. I'm actually going to add the florals first and then the fillers. There's another filler that I had. So I was debating, and I'm being completely honest, I was debating between the wildflowers and these guys. The Astilbe. This is what I was debating. Okay? And then with the blue, I have these cosmos, which look amazing. But I already had the baby's breath aside. So let's see. Let's see, because I love these cosmos. I actually had bought these cosmos for a different project. And I ended up buying a different blue floral that works better with it. But I still love the cosmos. It's just that I was able to find the bush that I originally had used. Okay, so let's finish cutting these guys and work with these. Alright, so these are the, like I said, I believe they're called the Velvet Cup. I had bought them from Greenery Market last year. Definitely last year. And I'm not sure if I lost the flower or that's how it was. Because sometimes you think that you lost the flower, but you really didn't. But in this case, I did. But it's okay. I'll find it. That means it's there somewhere. See this guy? Yeah, you could tell after a while, like when something's missing or something is actually supposed to be that way. So I want them to be long. All right. So let's add our picks to it. Let's add our picks first. A lot of times when I'm working, you see me going back and forth, adding a pick at a time. I'm gonna prepare everything. Let's add all our picks first, so that way I don't have to keep going back and forth, and you don't have to hear me stop or see me stop. And if you are watching the replay, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask the questions. I'll come back and answer them. Sometimes I don't come back right away. And it's because Facebook doesn't always show me all the comments. It's not because I'm not answering the comments. It's because, for whatever reason, it doesn't show me right away. Which is very strange. But then again, today I wasn't able to flip the image, so I don't know what happened today. And it drives me insane because I always make sure to flip the video. But if you look it up on YouTube, it will be flipped. Because I do that with the editing software. Like I love Adobe. Okay. So now that I have these, I usually count them first. I didn't count them. Let's count. So we have 1. And I usually also, after I count them, well, as I'm counting them, I like to see like the sizes. I know in this case I didn't measure them, but it's okay. But I want to see exactly, because a lot of times you don't have the option that even if you measure them, they're just different sizes. So that's why I like to separate. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so we have 10. So being that we have 10, it means we could basically use like 5 on each side of the bow, more or less. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the bigger ones, the longer ones. Okay, so let's start with the longer ones. And my glue's not ready. I turned it off. And is my glue gun ready? My glue gun is ready. Okay, so I'll use the glue gun for now. Gotta improvise. When the glue pot starts smoking up, I end up turning it down. Okay, so I'm gonna add the first one just below the sign. Just below the sign. Because I don't want to cover the completely the sign, but I'm trying to go like a little bit below, just below the half point, if you look at it. Even though the sign is at an angle, I'm still going to try to treat it as if it's, well, if it makes sense, like, it's like you're working on it straight and then you twisted it, you moved it to the side. Okay, the next one I'm going to add is going to be right over here. And if you can't hear me, please let me know, because I just noticed the other day while I was editing a live, and I noticed that every time I turn my back, can't hear me. And I have little microphones, but I can never get them to work. It's almost time to upgrade. Okay. See that? Okay. I'm going to leave the other big one out for a second because I'm going to go to the next size. My glue pot's almost there. And I know they say don't use a lot of glue, but I feel like it depends on the grapevine. Like sometimes I feel like I'm forced to use tons of glue, especially if the grapevine has too much space in it. Okay. So I keep saying okay. The other thing is I didn't clean this grapevine before I started, so it's driving me kind of crazy. I'm trying to twist it. Here's what I do. Like as I'm working with it, I start twisting the stems around, trying to like position them properly. So I kind of skipped here, so we're missing one here in the middle. So we could use the shorter ones. And always, if your stems end up being a little bit too long, just turn them. A stem like this, sometimes if you have, for example, this is not a good example, but just bear with me. You have some stems that I've done it before where I cut it and then I add it again, so I don't, because it's going to be a little bit too hard to take it out. So I just cut the top and then re-add the flower with a little bit of glue. These guys, you can't really do that. You can't really do that. So just be aware of the florals that you're working with. Now this guy right here. I love these velvet cups. Love them, love them. So that one had 3. Which one has 3? One fell out. This one. That means that third flower is there somewhere with my stuff. I always squish my bow when I'm working. Does anybody else do that? I always squish it. I've seen some people work and their bows are like amazing as they're working, and I just don't. I think, did I come out too much? I think we might have to add another one up here, because yeah, we have to add another one because our sign is getting a little bit lonely up there by itself. That makes more sense. This is seriously smoking too much now. I gotta be very, very, very cautious of the time because my daughter decided to wake up last night. She hasn't been doing that. She's been waking up like at 4, sometimes 3. But last night she woke up at 2, and it's been a while since she's done that. Okay, so if you see, the reason I'm adding it there is because I still want that angle. So I want this flower to be a little bit higher. If I were to level it out like that, they're kind of in the same place. Does that make sense? But I'm still working with it at the angle. I want the angle. So it's kind of in the same place, if you see what I'm saying. If that makes sense. I still have these 2, but I want to add them at the end because I know I want to, you know what? Let's just add it now. Why am I going to add it at the end? It's all I have left. I don't have any more of these guys. So it is what it is. No more. And like I said, I love these flowers, and I definitely don't have any more. No more at all. I'm going to add this one right here. I just burned myself. I don't know how I did that. And one more at the bottom. Since I put that one up top, I'm going to put the other one below it. Put the other one right down here. If that one's a little bit too long, we could always take it out and cut it, but I think it's okay. I don't like to neglect the area under the bow because I always feel if it's windy and the bows are moving or people close the door, the bow goes up and then they'll be able to see what's below it. So that's why I try to cover the area beyond the bow. Okay, so those are our main ones. Now, I got a decision to make. And too bad it's late because if I had more people on, I would ask them like, hey, let's take a vote. So do I want these guys? Or do I want the cosmos? I think it's the cosmos. I hate to say it. I think we gotta use the cosmos. The baby's breath, I feel like it's too light. Sorry, it's the cosmos. Let's go with the cosmos. And I have more, but I only took out one stem. Worst case, we use another one. Worst case, I get off camera again for just a second, just so we could get another, because I know I have more. You know what, let me go grab it. Apologies for getting off camera again. Ooh, that's a good one. As always, save your leaves. Even these guys that look like bamboo. See that? Or is it eucalyptus? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Save it. Save it. Save these. Because you could always use them to fill in. Okay, let me go grab another one. They're right here on the side. I don't believe in overbuying. I really don't. To a certain extent. I feel like in the end, you always end up using it somehow. Maybe this stem could be broken down a little bit more. See this guy? We should break it down. We could. We could. But for now, let's leave it like that. And again, those are my blue cosmos. No, cornflower. These are cornflowers. I said cosmos. Sorry, cornflower. I keep saying cosmos. Okay, so let's see the length. These, I want them to be a little bit shorter than the first ones. So you can see my process. And sometimes it doesn't matter the length, you just got to put in a little bit more. But the problem is that if you start doing that too much, you have the problem where they start sticking out in the back of the wreath. Okay, so again, these I'm going to cut as I go along. So that way I could see where I'm placing them. Okay, so I'm going to start placing these florals in between the red ones. And I've never... Last time I made a wreath that was similar to this, I used it... I added grapevine to it. So I had grapevine in the base and then I started adding the flowers. So that was a little bit more filled up. This time, not so much. But it's okay. And this is where I say, if you see me like facing it and moving things around, it's because I'm trying to kind of step away and see what am I twisting, what needs to be moved. But so far it's starting to fill up and I'm starting to get happy. But I definitely needed two bushes of these. Well, not bushes. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Now this guy, I'm actually going to separate it. These have 3. Oh no, those have 2. I'm going to separate this one guy here. Just because I feel like it'll be too much in one section. And remember, you could do that. When I first started making wreaths, I would never cut down my bushes. If that's how it was, that's how I added it. Same thing with my Christmas trees. Because it all started with Christmas trees. I don't know how everyone started working on wreaths, but for me, it started with Christmas trees. I used to change my Christmas tree every year. And then I started adding a matching wreath. However, the Christmas tree, whatever I bought and added to the wreath, and added to the tree was exactly that way. So then I made my wreaths the same way. I wouldn't cut anything. It's like I needed permission. And then I started learning, started following other wreath makers, and I was like, oh, you can cut the stuff. So yeah, cut your stuff. I never did. Cut your bushes, cut your florals, cut your stems, your sprays, take them apart. I swear I never did before. I mean, that was years ago, but there's something about it. You know what it is that with the Christmas tree, you reuse the things. Well, at least I do. And even my Christmas wreaths, I never keep them. I always take them apart. So I felt like, why am I going to why am I going to break up the bush? Why am I going to take it apart? Doesn't make any sense to me. And then when I saw others doing it, I was like, well, you could take it apart. I don't know if I needed to cut that one a little bit more. Okay, so if you see how we have 1, 2 here, we need one right here. It's kind of like, you try to work with triangles, but in this case, it's not going to be a perfect, maybe we twist this one a little bit more there, but we need one right here in this space. And this is what we have left. So we still have quite a few. We can add one by itself, a solo one. We have these guys right here. These need to be broken down. Should we wake up? Oh boy. If my daughter wakes up, we need to come back tomorrow. Let me not jinx myself because she's been good. I hear the frantic pitter patter upstairs and I know she woke up. Okay, so break down your stuff, guys. Break it down. Don't be like me when I started. I was afraid to break it down. So we got 2 minis right here. And I'm going to take these out. When you have like a guy that's, see how it ended up like that? Break that. I mean, cut it. It doesn't look... I keep saying the word break. It's really cut. I have better ones there and I just You know when you have something that you used to? Okay. Okay, so we still have 1, 2. These are the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8. That's a lot. Do we need them all? I don't know. Okay, so where am I going to add these? I know I said the outside, right? So let's go outside. Let's go outside right there. And these do need picks. At least I feel they do. Like I said, I'm adding the picks as I go along because I'm not sure if I'm going to use them all. And if I don't use them all, then if I already added the picks to them, then it's kind of a waste because then I have to... Oh, I'm on a roll. Now I dropped that. Now I dropped my glue gun. Why don't we unplug the glue gun? I don't need it anymore. Okay, so we have this guy. We're going to add it right here. I'm on a roll today. See, that one at the bottom. And the glue gun, it's like you add glue. I'm sorry, you heat it up a little bit more. You turn it down, heat it up, turn it down. Which is why I had the glue gun going, because it stays constant. Okay, so I'm going to add this guy. Where did I say? If I add one to the left, I'm adding the one to the right pretty much in the same spot. Or, so at least so it looks like it's in the same spot. But this grapevine is being tough on me. So now it looks like we're like blue heavy at the bottom, right? So we gotta add some more blues to the top. Let's add, we haven't added anything blue down here. So we should add at least one there and one there. We have these little short ones. No, the short ones are gonna go up here. My thinking process. And I just messed that one up. Wow. So if you have your floral come apart like that, just add a little bit glue to it, a little bit of glue. Not like that. And reinsert it, just to make sure that it stays. Or add it and then add glue with your glue gun to the top, which is what I should have done. Okay, so now I'm adding this guy right here. Now, if your florals tend to... I try to hide, like the worst thing in the world for me when I'm working on a grapevine, or actually when I'm preparing to send out a grapevine, is seeing the mechanics. I don't know how you guys are, but like for me, it's like the worst thing in the world. So even before, like today, I mailed out a wreath. I truly, I was like, oh, it's ready to go. I did a good job on it. It's one that I already had made. And I truly spent another 20 minutes. And so I'm not saying to do this because I know it's not like smart money-wise, right? Business-wise, it's not okay. Why am do I have an extra one? 1, 2, oh, because I dropped one. I'm gonna add one right here in these spots. So then I spend more time making sure that you don't see the mechanics. And I was like, didn't I do that when I made the wreath? But then just as I'm about to pack it up, I noticed like a little bit of metal showing. That's it. I was down here getting the moss, the Spanish moss, to make sure that I covered it, because it drives me insane. But that's why too, you don't always need to use the picks. crazy like me. I use the picks for like everything. Okay, so now that I have these two, I think I'm gonna leave these two for now. Because I want to add those two to the top and bottom. Most likely. This is not working. I hate when I don't clean out my wreaths. And I've said it a million times. If you watched me before, don't pull on it. 2 stitches, guys. 2 stitches. I say it over and over and over again. You see me playing with my index finger because it feels different. To work, and I'm not gonna pull on it. Been there, done that. My leaf came off, of course. We're almost finished. Once the major florals are on, like the main ones, it's easy after that. So I have one here, one here, one here. The last one goes over here. This guy actually needs to be moved more in. And the last one goes here. But like I said, every wreath, this guy does not want to work with me. Okay. Alright. So I'm stepping away. I feel like I have a lot here. I think the cosmos were too much. Keep calling them cosmos, the cornflower. So now these I feel like are too much. These are too big. These are too big, I think. Maybe these guys, because they're smaller, be more of a filler. But before we add that, we are going to add the greenery. The greenery. This greenery came from Hobby Lobby. It's one of my favorites. It's called Petite Floral. So it's one that I always have. When it comes to greenery, I don't know if everybody's the same way. You find your favorites and you just stock up on them. This is one of them. I have a few from Greenery Market, a few from Hobby Lobby. And depending on the style of wreath, I already know which one I'm going to use. But always buy different ones, try new ones. Because you never know what you're gonna like. Okay, so now we're gonna work with these guys. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9? Okay, now the good thing about this guy is that you could move the picks up and down. That's what I like about it. You see how it, like, I want it to pop out a little bit. I want the velvet cups to stand out more than the blue cornflowers. So like I'm saying, these, they move up and down. You could change them as you go along. But I'm just gonna add them. Here we go. And again, this is a sign that I've had for many years. Not many. This is not the oldest nautical sign that I've had. It's one of the ones that I've had here for maybe 2 or 3 years. And I've been on beach mode. I've been wanting to make all of my nautical wreaths. It's like, you know how you buy so much product? And I've been on a, hey, whatever I have, just work on it. Because before you know it, like right now, we're supposed to be working on fall, guys. We're supposed to be working on fall. It's already going to be June. You're supposed to be wrapping up summer and working on fall already. I'm not ready. Is anybody else not ready? Because I am so not ready. I am not ready for fall. Now, do I have tons of fall? Yeah, I have tons of product for fall. Why? Because every year we end up having to cut our season short, right? You know what I mean. You have to start switching gears. And meanwhile, you didn't finish working on whatever you're working on. So you have to pack it away and start working on the season you're supposed to be working on. So that's what happened. I have tons of fall. But I said that I didn't care how long I was going to work on beach. I don't care if it's already like... the trees are already... their leaves are falling. I'm going to finish my beach stuff. I have 2 more signs left. And I think I'm going to be happy with leaving those 2 signs. But I had so many. I have like maybe 1 or 2. I have 1 more. I have 3. Maybe you'll see me make 1 more. 1 more. And then you have all the beach ribbons. So you could technically work on a nautical wreath without the sign, just the ribbon, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to use my stuff. I'm trying to use all my product. Because I have tons of it. And that's why I'm trying to practice a little bit more self-control when I go out. Because I've already overdone it. I'm trying to measure them as I go along, because if I'm adding one to the left, I'm adding the other one to the right. If that makes sense. The opposites. So I want them to be pretty similar when I add them. So that's why I kind of measure them out. Like, okay, this one's similar to that one. Still haven't added the white. Still gotta add the white. See how the green just makes it come to life? I really don't want to get off camera again, but I feel like I need more greenery. Or maybe the baby's breath or the wildflower will help it fill in. Where did I add you? Now remember, just because I added it like this, you could come back and twist everything and make it look pretty, all that good stuff. You could do it afterwards. Right now, the wreath is pretty empty beneath the bow. It's like super empty beneath the bow. Super duper empty. So we gotta add more stuff below. We gotta add at least one of these. Yes, it was 9. It was an odd number. So I'm gonna cut this guy a little bit, because I'm gonna add this one below. And yeah, I'm adding the picks as I go. Because I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm too honest. See that? We added that one there. Have to step away. So again, for those who can't really see what I'm doing, that's the straight version. See that? Depends how you like it. I'm just trying to make sure that it's all even on both sides. And this is empty. To me, this is still empty. I still have these 2 guys to add. And I'm actually going to add them right back here to finish filling up. To kind of finish adding space around the bow. See these guys? So I'm actually going to cut these short because I want to use them as a filler towards the bottom. So I can fill in the rest of the grapevine and beneath. Does that make sense? Now these do have a little bit of yellow. A little bit of yellow. Nothing too crazy, but check them out. And I'm not going to break them down more. I mean, I could separate them. Oh boy, I did that. I could separate it where I add these two. I keep doing that. I need to add glue. I'll come back and add glue. Okay, add this guy by itself, but I think I'm going to add them together as that. Does that work? No, who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? Let's separate it. Let's cut them. Okay, so this, when you have this, right? You cut the stem. Okay? You cut the stem. This is, but now we're going to break this down even more. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to push this down and have it to a point where this is usable. Where I could still, let's say, add a pig to it if I needed to. And then these guys are a separate stem here. See that? All I'm going to do is I'm going to twist this right here so it doesn't fall off. You're not going to be able to see that, but see that? So now I have two separate things to work with. Now, if I add this one to the left, I'm not going to add this one to the right because they're different. But that's why I immediately find another one on the bush that's exactly the same. Because remember, not all bushes are cut equal. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull this apart, which you should be doing anyways. Oh my God, you are not working with me. Well, it's me. I'm pulling it. Okay. I left two of these guys here. I'm pushing this up here. See that? I'm trying to make it look exactly the same. I'm going to cut it where it gives me enough space where I could add it to a steel pick if I needed to. And when I have that piece right there, I'm going to give it a little twist. This one was smaller than the last one. And then you can push it up depending how you want to use it. See that? So now if I add this one to the left, I add this one to the right, and vice versa. Okay? So these, because they are so short, they do need a steel pick. And actually, this wreath is so tight, partially because I didn't clean it, that I may not even need to be adding steel picks to it. But like I said, it's always me and my habit of using steel picks. I think I use them too much because then afterwards you have to clean up your wreath in the back. That's me. I'm always cleaning up wreaths. This guy is killing me. Alright, so because this guy keeps falling off, I'm going to get a little piece here of like the stem here. And I'm going to add a little dot of glue. If you have a different way of doing it, let me know. Drop it in the comments. I know we all have our own way of doing things. We all have our way of trying to fix our wreathing issues, right? We learn from each other. Okay, so now, here's the first guy. And I have it right in here. I want these to be lower, just like little pops of white. So I added one to the left. I'm going to add one to the, that was to the right. Adding one to the left. Trying not to burn myself again. I had a nasty burn the other day. It was so nasty that it hurt so much I couldn't take it off. You know, you immediately like wipe it off. I couldn't. I had to leave it. Mainly because my kids were running. I was cleaning up wreaths. That's what I was doing. You know, your wreaths around the house. I was cleaning them, and then my kids decided to come into the kitchen area where I was, chasing each other, and of course I got glue on my hands, and I couldn't wipe it off. Partially because they were there. Oh God, you're killing me. Yeah, this one keeps coming off. I think I'm gonna have to come back afterwards with a glue gun and just add little drops of glue to these guys. So again, if I'm adding one to wherever it is on the left, I'm gonna try to mirror it on the opposite side. See, now I'm glad I went. Oh God, this is not nice. Not right now, guys. We need you to work. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of, like I say, cleaning up wreath. This one's gonna be a big one because the last thing I want is for me to have a customer receive this and these things falling apart. Alright, I give up on this guy. It's gonna go somewhere there. You got the idea. But I'm gonna have to add these afterwards. I'm gonna have to clean them up. Not nice. I've used them before and that never happened before. Okay, same thing. Same thing. I got 3 there. But do you see how already it's starting to fill it up? It's starting to add that, the white is starting to help it. That wasn't me. A lot of times it's me. It's the way I'm handling it. But let's prepare all of these. I'm going to keep prepping them. So we don't have to keep coming back. But you get the example. You see why I did what I did. So that way we don't have to keep coming back and prepping more of them. Let's just get them all ready to go. And just add them as we go along. So we got 2, 4. I think we're going to use a whole bush, but it's looking pretty. Once you start adding the different colors to it. My tone starts going up high. It's because I'm happy. See this one? Where are you? Yeah, I definitely have to come back and add a dab of glue to all of these. It is what it is. Oh, I cut this one too short. Too soon. As real as it gets. That shows that I didn't prep for this. See, my kids are... Oh, that's what I did. I'm going to pull this off. My kids are asleep and I fly on. We'll try to. The mesh ones, I usually, before I come on, I try to prep the ribbons and all that fun stuff. Okay, how many more do we have here? This is pretty generous. We have 10. Should we do 2 more? Why not? Let's do 2 more. Let's do 2 more just so we don't have to come back and do them again. My thought process, everyone. Sorry. I'm talking to myself as I do this. Since I've been coming on live so much, it was so strange the other day when I worked on our Mother's Day wreaths that I wasn't on. It was so weird. Yeah, you're killing me, bud. You are killing me. Okay, I'm gonna leave these, so I don't think I need those. But these guys keep falling off. Who fell off? This guy fell off. I think it's me when I pull it. Because they actually have enough space. They're not really short stems. They're long. But I think it's me when I pull it really quickly. Because I'm trying to get it out. It has to be me. Pretty sure it's me. Okay, so this is enough. This is more than enough. That's why I left these few. I try not to leave things. I try not to leave extras because then you have extras all over the place. But worst case, we finish them up. But I think I have enough here. Because all we're doing is adding them to the bottom to fill those up. Okay, so let's finish this guy off. Let's finish this wreath off because it's a pretty simple wreath. It's just that, like I said, I didn't prep. I can't prep with my kids. So these guys, see, we're just adding that little pop of white to it. So who actually decorates with beach? Because like I said, I've been on a beach kick. I think that the reason I've been on a beach kick is because I haven't been to a resort or to the beach or anything in way over a year. So I think it's like a sign. That's pretty. See, we're just filling in. We're filling in our little gaps with the sky. So I have not gone on vacation in a long time. As a matter of fact, last time that we were on vacation was the three of us. And I don't know, I was expecting my daughter. So we were having way too much fun and I didn't know how to little one. We didn't know we had a fourth member on vacation with us. Oh, excuse me. Oh boy. Runny nose. So that was the last time. So my daughter was what? Not born yet. So that was, she just turned 4 last week, so that means that was 5 years ago. Last time we went on vacation. I mean, we've done local things, little things. But actually have gotten on a plane? No, we have not. Not gone on a plane. Alright, where am I missing? I need to step away. Out here. This is empty back here. And of course, like I said, I need to fluff it up, move things around, which I haven't done. You always have to do that. I am going to use them all. Because it's looking a little bit empty to me. But like I said before, I already gave a little disclaimer that I tend to overfill. And I'm sure not the only one. She would open the door. If she wakes up at this point in the game, I think I would actually bring her down here. Because I'm not gonna stop alive at this point. No. I'll make her come down. And then I'll deal with trying to put her back to sleep. That's what I needed. On the outside. That one had 2. Which one is missing 2? Oh no. Did I reuse one that I wasn't supposed to? Probably. Oh well. That's weird. Let's keep on going then. Little things that we noticed. Most people won't, but because I have one there, well 2 there, I could just grab a second one and add it like that, and no one's gonna. Oh, here it is. It fell off. It's okay. I'll add it afterwards. This little bush has not been working with me today. What else am I missing? Trying to fill up the spaces. If you're wondering what I'm doing, filling up the gaps. And at the same time, oh, this is the one that I placed there before. And at the same time, I'm filling in the space so you don't see directly into the grapevine. So sometimes you would fill that up with greenery. I'm using these guys to fill it up. I had a blue one here that I did not add. I'm going to add it here now. Remember at the beginning? I'm at the end. Finally. So now all these guys, I have to come in and add glue to the top. And it's not all of them that's doing it. It's the ones that are the second ones that are popping up to the side. And I really do think it's me. I have a feeling it's me when I'm grabbing it. So either I gotta be slower, but you gotta think of the, at least I always think of the worst case scenario. Like I think of like if my customers were to grab that, do you really want that to fall apart on them? Of course not. So now I have to go in, and I will come back with a glue gun and add little drops of glue to all of these guys, just to make sure that it doesn't fall apart. So see how we're coming along. Now down here, still neglected, we have this guy, and then we have the last white one, and we're finished. Where are you? I laugh because I really do talk to myself. Even when I'm here by myself and I'm not live. I talk to myself. Okay, so here we have one last issue. And you may not see it as an issue, but to me it's an issue. And that potential issue is the bow. The bow doesn't have any greenery in it. I feel like we need some kind of greenery to tie it all in with the rest of the wreath. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff this guy up here. Right? Fluff up the bow. Make sure that the tails, which tails is it that I still want to keep? Because remember, I may not keep all of the tails. I may just keep like four of them. I cut a lot when we first started. We have this guy up here. I am going to cut that. I always like to have like a short dovetail. That's something that I like to do with like almost all of my wreaths. So I'm going to cut this right here. I do that with like all of my wreaths. You always have like that random little dovetail. I don't know why I do it. That's what I like to do. We have this guy. And I usually do it to the ones that are like extra. Like definitely we have 4 of the, oh, that's not a nice dovetail. That was not a nice dovetail. There we go. That's better. I have this stuff all over. Do you see all this? It's a lot everywhere. Okay. So now I gotta see where I need to step away. I need to fluff up this bow. This bow needs to be fluffed up. And then all these guys here need to be curled up. This guy I want to cut. I want to cut this guy here. I don't want to cut it too short. I just want to dovetail it because like I said, that's something that I like to do. And then you could actually add more ribbon tails to like the sides of it. You really could. You could. But I feel like, remember those extra 2 little guys that we left here? I might actually use them. I'm not gonna do it now. But I'm thinking that I might use them because when you lift up the bow here, see how that looks empty there? If we have this, might as well use it. So in the end, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more pieces. We have 6 more pieces. So why not finish using it and adding it to the bottom of the wreath? And like I said, I'm not going to do it now. I mean, I could do it right now, but I'm not going to keep you guys. I may just finish up the wreath. But I'm gonna cut the transmission, as they say. Then again, if you're here, you're watching me, right? Means you're not sleeping either. I always wonder whoever's up with me. Now, I still want to do that little, what is it, like kitty corner thingy. I still want to do that. I don't know. I thought I wanted it like that, but I think this is better. I think it's better have it like that. And if anything, I could actually come back and twist this, keep this straight, and then twist the sign a little bit. I could still do that because the sign is not permanent. But you see what I'm saying? Like twist the sign a little. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say? But definitely, I'm going to add more of these right here. We have them, so might as well use them. I'm going to add these guys here. I keep pulling these off. It is me. It is me. I pull it off every time I do it. So let me add one more so you see what I'm trying to say. So you see what I'm saying. So we don't have to come back and do it again. Even though I do. When I'm cleaning them up afterwards, I end up... See? Add that to that. We have one right here. We'll put one right there. And then afterwards, I don't know if I want to add these. Oh, here's the idea. These. Add these to the bow. See that? It ties it all together. Obviously, I'm going to add glue to it, and then I'll add it right here. But do you see? So this is an idea. It's not finished. Because I could still add, I'm still going to add the rest of these guys to it. But before I keep adding them, I want to add glue to them to make sure they don't fall apart. I'm going to use my glue gun to add glue to these because I don't want them to, you know, keep falling apart the way they are. Every time I like grab them and pull them, they come off and the little foxtail thingies. But there we go. It's pretty much, I need to step away. These guys, trying to have them pop up a little bit more. This is a ribbon loop. This is a little streamer thingy. Ribbon streamer. And I'm going to try to hide them a little bit more. And if you want to, you could always add more ribbon streamers by adding a steel pick to it or foil pick and adding more of the ribbon streamers to them. But again, I'm trying to step away a little bit so I could see what I did. Because I've been way too close to it the whole time. But I think it's okay. I think it's alright. The only other things that I would do to this, like I said, I'm going to add a little bit more of these to the bottom. I'll clean up the back, and I always like to add a hook to the back. I always like to add a hook to the wreath, just because it's easier to hang it up, and I use rustic wire for that. And like I said, clean it up. Like I have all this stuff here. You don't want to scratch your customer's doors. Clean it up. So here we go. Here it is. Here's like 95% done, because I'm going to add, like I said, a little bit more stuff to it, and I may twist this a little bit to the right. Okay, so there it is. It's simple. It took long because I talk a lot, but there it is. Let me know if you like it. Again, if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, and I will, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I just write them down and I come back. Facebook usually shows me, but I've gotten better at navigating, and sometimes I feel like I have to go through every single live just to make sure if there's any comments, because Facebook doesn't always let me know. But anyways, so there it is. Hope you try something similar, and hope that I helped in any way. Hope I inspired you to do something, because it's always good to watch others, because that kind of triggers things. If you have any questions, again, please drop in the comments. Thanks so much again. I appreciate your time. Thanks for staying here with me. Hope you have a great night, and I'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye. or just go on my website at minecraftstudio.com, and you have links to the videos there. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a great night and stay warm, everyone. Take care.